future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. Just to try and make us.
Hey there, everyone, and good evening, America. This is your host, Alan Lissauer from Financial Sanity Now, and I'm here with my guest. I mixed that one up. Special guest, Dan Silverman, and we'll get into his segment. I tell you, he's a popular guy. Remember, everyone out there listening, this is not my show, and this is not Dan's show. This is your show. Let me say that again. This is your show. Finally, a place for you to complain, to be concerned, to get answers about your consumer problems. And we all have consumer problems. We have no interest in politics here. We don't care if you're Republican or Democrat or socialist. What we care about is your problems. We want to hear your consumer problems. We want to hear you get angry. We want to hear what makes you upset.
Things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad.
And we're not going to leave you alone. We're most interested in what affects you. So we want you to call in as you hear these segments that we're going to give you. We want you to call in to 323-524-2599. Let me repeat. That's 323-524-2599. Or you can text your questions to 310-384-4352. I say it twice because we're on the radio. 310-384-4352. We want to get your complaints, your stories. Now, we have 3 topics today, and we're going to have to go fast because we never get to finish on this show. We have so much to cover. The first topic is going to be Wells Fargo. We're going to talk about how they handle mortgages, how they handle consumer complaints, how they opened up fake accounts, how they used customers' names when they weren't supposed to. Wells Fargo has gotten away with way too much, and I think there's a lot of people out there who have issues with Wells Fargo. It's time for consumers to get educated and wake up. Our second topic, if you want to tune in for that part, is going to be very exciting. It's with Dan. We're going to talk about, and Dan's been doing insurance issues for, I don't know, how many years, Dan?
Over 40 years.
40. Yeah, I didn't think you're that old. Okay. And he's going to walk us through certain insurance issues. Now, insurance is a huge topic. Well, we can't do it all today. We're going to center on a few items, and maybe we'll have Dan back another time. But when we get to these topics, again, if you want to call in, the number is 323-524-2599. And as we go through this, a lot of people are concerned, Obamacare, not Obamacare, Trump care, I don't know what care. Actually, I hope someone cares. Topic 3, we're going to hit on America's addiction to credit cards. And I know people are addicted to their credit cards as much as they're addicted to their phones. We live in a credit-addicted society. There's over $1.4 trillion in credit card debt out there. Someone has to pay it. A lot of it at interest rates as high as 29.99, not 30, 29.99%. People are hooked on credit cards. They're hooked on it at a young age. And they can't get off it. So we're going to work with you and explain how you can get off it, what is healthy credit and what is not healthy credit. There are things you're not going to want to hear, but we're going to tell it to you anyway. So, again, call in at 323-524-2599 or text 310-384-4352. I'm going to start off right away with Wells Fargo. Bank of America and Wells Fargo tied for the most consumer complaints for mortgages. Gee, what a surprise that is. This is according to the Consumer Protection Database, which, by the way, everyone's trying to rip apart. Not me. I think the Consumer Protection Database is very important. It's a good place to complain. Okay? Although you can complain on this show, I don't know where else you're going to complain. So here's some of the issues that have happened with Wells Fargo. We have loan modifications, collections, foreclosures, servicing, and escrow accounts. First, let's talk about mortgage. Everyone who has a home has what's called an escrow. An escrow is your taxes and your insurance. Now, normally the bank will pay that. They'll pay it monthly, and then your monthly will go up. Okay? How do you know? Wow, but how do you know they're doing that correctly? Well, you're supposed to get an escrow statement. I will tell you, many escrow statements are incorrect. If I'm, for instance, paying $12,000 in property tax, it should be $1,000 a month. That's an easy one. But if you're paying $7,000, you have to divide it by 12. What about your insurance? You have to divide that by 12. You have to make sure they're taking out the right amount. Most people don't do that, and the banks take out extra, or they put out and they take a reserve account. That means there's more money for them. I need everyone out there who has a mortgage to check on their escrow accounts. It's very important because there's a lot of errors there. We have to do some personal accounting. Be aware what's going on with your money. I can't emphasize this enough. The information is not just given to you. You've got to ask for it. You have to be conscious. And I would say, listen, once or twice a month, take the time, check your checking account. Once a month, check your escrow account. It won't take much time, and I'm sure you're going to find errors in your favor. Okay? Something that Wells Fargo has been really good at is denying people modifications. They've denied them for reasons that no one quite understands. They've denied over 138,000 people for modifications, people who are sick, people who have lost their jobs. And we know during the crisis crunch, more people lost their homes, but there are still people who get sick. Very sick. Cancer is prevalent in our society. There are people who still their incomes go down. And what about, let me give you an example here. What about a 64-year-old woman who lives in a property, got her loan 10 years ago, and it just reset after 10 years. It was an adjustable rate at 7% at a 20-year amortization. Her payment went up over $1,200 a month. Now, she can afford that. She's 64. It's not like she can go out and go, oh, wow, I think I'll do a little extra work here and be a Walmart greeter. It doesn't work like that. So she asked for a modification. I will tell you personally that we've been working on this over a year, and they've put us through so many hoops, and it's still not happening. Now, there are rules around modifications, people. There are ways you're supposed to be treated. I hear it all the time. Well, I've been a good customer. I've been a really good customer to this bank. Why don't they treat me better? That's an interesting question. Why don't they treat you better? Well, they don't. They just don't treat you better. I'm not sure they care you've been their customer and have paid your mortgage for 10 years. And they've made maybe $150,000 on you already. I guess that's our system. Maybe we need to question the aspect of being more humane when it comes to helping people out. They account for 77% of all the complaints regarding mortgages. That is astounding. Let me read you something. This is from a gentleman who had texted me. This is a real person. I am working on my second attempt at a loan modification. His words, this is a screwed up company. Okay, that I didn't say that, Tim Banks. That's who he is. It took them 9 months of paperwork and phone calls only to deny me a modification. This attempt started in November 2014. By 2015, I was denied. In 2016, I was denied. I'm now almost ready to lose my home. I don't know if there are other people out there who are having problems with their mortgages, or they got their mortgage 10 years ago and now it's resetting, or it's an adjustable rate. But if you do and you have something with Wells Fargo, please give us a call. You can call the station or look us up on the website at the station, and the station will refer us to you. But you know, this is free advice. We can tell you at least the rules around this, okay? He goes on to say, when we contacted them, they told us to write a hardship letter and fax that with all our financial information. Yes, they do that. They want all that information. Hold on, that's a text, but I'll let it go right now to text. Okay. There are other horror stories. I want to know if anyone else is out there who has a horror story about Wells Fargo. Please let us know. Here's someone who also, just real quickly, says, I live in Las Vegas. I can pretty much sign my name to the letter that Tim wrote. I'm having the exact same experience. That experience is one of utter frustration, of speaking to customer reps who constantly say, thank you, we apologize for that, and their sincerity drips of insincerity. Okay, that's the truth about this. So if you're having problems, you can go to Consumer Protection. I recommend it, Consumer Federal Protection. I also recommend calling us. Let me say a few more things about Wells Fargo. It's such a large subject, and something that's really egregious, and I just don't know why the public isn't up in arms about this. This is Wells Fargo opened over 2 million accounts without permission. 2 million. And they charged $12 per month for each account. Did you know that, Dan?
Yes, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, right? You know, it happened to me when I went to Wells Fargo. I opened an account, and the guy said, there's not going to be any charges. There was a charge. I had to go back. There was a charge. I finally closed the account. I guess he thought maybe I shouldn't do this to this guy. 2 million. How can that happen? Well, in 2005, the president of this was John Stumpf. That's his name, Stumpf, S-T-U-M-P-F. He was president. He was warned by, and this is from the New York Times, I'm not making this up, okay, by Julie Tishoff, an administrative assistant, a lowly assistant. Oh, my goodness. He was warned through the ranks that they had seen employees opening sham accounts, forging customer signatures, and sending out unsolicited credit cards. Is that sinking in, people? They're just sham accounts. She complained for 4 years, and she wasn't alone in those complaints. So can anyone guess what happened to her? Well, yeah, she was fired. She was fired, and her direct supervisors today work at Wells Fargo Bank as managers and assistant vice presidents. They went along with this. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Finally, it was found out, thankfully, by the newspapers, and there have been court cases and lawsuits about it, and the latest one was that Wells Fargo is supposed to pay $185 million in fines. Whoopee. Wells Fargo, $185 million. That's like $18 to you or me. How do you open up an account in someone's name and forge their signature, and that is all that happens? We're supposed to have faith in our banking system. And don't get me wrong, I'm a capitalist. I believe in banking. I believe banking serves a purpose, and it does good for most of us. But when you have people acting like this, and the president of the company not only goes along, but fires the people who are the whistleblowers, there's something really rotten in that culture. I'm not sure it's been corrected. Mrs. Tishoff was fired. Wells Fargo is supposed to pay $185 million. I don't think this story's closed. I think there's a lot more to come of it, because everybody knew that fraud was going on. Fraud. Absolute fraud. Has anyone gone to jail, Dan? Do you know?
No, I don't think so.
No one. No one's gone to jail. Have people been fired? Yes. People who blew the whistle have been fired. What type of society are we that we allow this to happen? It seems even during the crisis, the mortgage crisis, the banks were rewarded. None of them went bankrupt. They were rewarded for bad behavior. Anyone out there have children, you know that if you give a reward for bad behavior, you're going to get more bad behavior. And I think that is what's going on. I mean, to me, we need to ring the alarm bells. They say they made fundamental changes to help ensure team members are not being pressured to sell products to customers. No, not really. All the managers there were encouraged to tell their people, sign up, sign up, sign up. They had not only bonuses, they had quotas. And this went on for years. Years. I'll do the quick math. 2 million times $12. What do you got there?
A month, that's
what do you got?
250 million.
24 million. Yeah, 250 million. Okay, guys, they were fined. This went on for 5 years, more. They were fined 185. What's wrong with this number? And this was done, by the way, by over 5,000 workers. So we have complicit with 5,000 workers. But I blame it on the management. These people were told, you want to keep your job. You want to keep your job? Let me tell you what they did. Wells Fargo warned workers, if they want a paycheck, open more accounts. That's just how it worked. Now, I will say it to credit to the other banks. I have not seen this type of scandal on the other banks, the other major banks. But, this segment's on Wells Fargo. We'll do another segment on Bank of America or Chase another day. But the egregious behavior. So what do we have here? We have mortgages. We have sham accounts. Well, let me tell you the latest one. And this has not been adjudicated yet. For those who don't know what adjudicated means, it means it's not gone to court. Wells Fargo gave out 800,000 car loans. Don't get a car loan from them. Okay, don't. They also have an insurance, Wells Fargo Insurance. They added their car insurance to the loan. Now, people didn't need their car insurance. I know when I bought a car, I'm sure when you bought a car, Dan, I have been with Liberty Mutual for 12 years. I call them up, I get a binder. That's how it works. I look for my best rate. Do you do that?
Absolutely. I get my own insurance, the best rate.
So someone jumps an insurance on you didn't even ask for. 800,000 of those cases are now. So let's go from one thing to the next, and that is the latest one that has occurred with Wells Fargo. I think it's a shame. I think there's cleanup that has to be done there. So right now, I could talk about Wells Fargo for a whole hour. I'm not going to. Oh, there's a call in. Let's see who's calling in. Yes, hello.
Hi, this is Shelley from Los Angeles.
Hi, Shelley. How can I help you?
Hi. So I was given a credit card from Wells Fargo, and they gave me $1,000 limit. And this is when I was in college. And pretty soon, I found myself charging more and more and accumulating more interest. And now I owe over $3,000+, and I'm still a student.
Shelley, let me ask you.
And I feel I'm just in a hole.
Yeah. What's your interest rate now, Shelley? Do you know your interest rate on the card?
It's very high. It just keeps on crawling up.
Usually it's about 24%. That's what they do to students after the first year. Listen, Shelley, you're not the first one this happened to. I want you to know you're among millions of students. They go around and give out cards. And because when you get $1,000, tell me if I'm wrong, that's a lot of money to a college student. Like, hey, I just got $1,000. Isn't that how you felt?
Yeah, exactly. And I thought, I can do what I like, but you know what? It backfired on me.
It backfired. And when you spent more, they raised your limit. And now you told me you're at $3,000. And that's not that easy to pay back at that interest rate. So I appreciate you. Yeah.
Especially trying to balance it with other things I have, it's not easy.
You know, Shelley, Wells Fargo is of all the companies I know right now, Wells Fargo is the one that's giving out most college credit cards. And did they ever check your did they check your income at that time?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. All right. Well, that was
Not sure.
That was what they do. They don't really care what your income is. And then if you don't pay, your credit goes bad, and you sound like you're a pretty young lady, and then you get bad credit, and that's not what you want. So I want to thank you for calling in. We're going to do a credit card segment in a little while, and we're going to address some of the ways this happens. Okay, thanks for calling in, Shelley.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right. That was a nice young lady there. We're going to talk about that more, but in a few minutes, we're going to talk about insurance.
Yeah.
Worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad.
You know, and we want you to get mad, but we also want to give you information that you can use that'll save you money. So I have with me Dan, who calls himself the
Insurance Sherpa.
Insurance Sherpa, although I always thought a Sherpa was someone who herded sheep. Okay, I'm going to ask Dan a question about insurance that I think relates to most people out there, and that is, Dan, if I lose my job, and I've had this question asked of me. If I lose my job, they say there's something called Cobra. I always thought that was a snake. This insurance called Cobra. But it'll cover me before I get my next job. Is that a good thing for me to do? It seemed expensive.
It is expensive, and like anything, at one point when it first came out, it was a great deal, because when you lost your job and you couldn't necessarily go get approved for your own policy due to health situations, whatever, you at least had the guarantee for 18 months for a local company, up to 36 months if it was both a federal interstate company, to have this Cobra insurance. But you were paying the full price of the premium plus 10% even as your cost for your policy to keep it going. Ever since, doesn't make above more. The full premium, not the premium that you were paying, your share, but the full employer premium.
Well, what was I supposed to do?
Well, if you were healthy, you could have applied for your own policy and you would have been fine. You would have paid
as an individual.
As
I
an
wasn't
individual.
with the company.
Right.
But those are expensive.
Yes, but they're now, the main problem for most people is if you had any minor medical condition, the insurance company would decline you. Right. Now they have to cover you. So I believe Cobra is dead. Nobody should be on Cobra. If you are on Cobra now, you've got to be crazy, because you can sign up for your own policy, the Obamacare policy, as long as it's still here. And if you're not working, you could go on Medi-Cal, which is free, 0 premium every month.
You're getting ahead of me here, Dan. That's a lot to digest. Obamacare is, to some people, a dirty word. To some people, maybe it's not a dirty word. I don't really know what it means. Let me tell you what I know. And you could fill me in. My daughter, when she was earning about $20,000, could get a covered California policy, because I think Obamacare came in and swooped out part of her premium, and she could have a PPO.
Okay.
But if she made more than that, she couldn't do that. She had to pay full price for a policy. If she made less, they would force her to go on what's called Medi-Cal.
Or Medicaid in all other states besides California.
Or something like this. And I don't know how the rest of the people think out there, but that got very confusing. And I would like you to explain it. I have to take a call right now, a personal call, so could keep the camera on him for a minute.
So I will explain that. It's not that complicated, and that's where my services as an insurance Sherpa, as an insurance guide, will help you figure out the way to make it work for you. Obamacare, also known as the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, it's our current form of health insurance. It has many different features than the old plans used to be, and people can have their health insurance work for them rather than against them. You can make it be that you can arrange it to fit within your needs. In Alan's daughter's case, she should have gone on Medi-Cal when she wasn't working. And then when she got a job and she made a certain income, then she would go off Medi-Cal and be on the subsidy phase. It's a seamless flow from one to the other, designed to provide health coverage, the most important thing, because nobody knows if today, tomorrow, the accident will happen, the disease will come, and they will need to go into the hospital and have serious medical bills. You don't want to be left without any money to take care of that, and that's why your health insurance is important, and it's important that you set it up correctly, the lowest cost, most efficient coverage, and that's where we help people do it. It's very simple. Trust me. Call me, and I will explain it to you in 10 minutes or less.
Dan, I know you, so I trust you. But when most people call about these things to their provider, to their insurance agent, they get a lot of gobbledygook. They really do. Can you tell me a story or a personal, something that happened personally that could,
Sure.
So people can understand it from a personal point of view. You had mentioned to me something about a girl with allergies.
That's right. I know. See, so many
it was an
stories.
Interesting story, but
Yes.
I think it's a better personal touch for our audience to understand this.
The important thing is you have to know how to make the healthcare system work for you. Here's a perfect example.
That's the key. Make it work for you.
Rather than against you. Here's a woman, she turned 26. She was kicked off of her family's health plan, as what happens now, and she had an allergist that she had to go to 3 times a year for a checkup and make sure her allergies were being taken care of. And the allergist was only on the plan, the PPO list, that was purchased directly from the carrier. So she had to pay, as a 26-year-old, the full
she
premium.
Was off the plan.
Right, on her own plan.
Parents had that plan, and now she's off it.
Right. And that would cost her $300 a month to be on that plan so that she can go to her allergist and pay the $20 copay.
Well, yeah, she wants to go to that doctor.
I
Remember
understand.
What was that story? Keep your doctor.
That's right. It still can. You, again, have to know how to work the system.
Okay. Sorry.
She did that. She was paying $300 of her $1,100 a month income, 30% of it just for this health insurance.
Okay.
When she came to me, I said, "You've got to be crazy."
Crazy.
Yes.
She's crazy.
Go on Medi-Cal, which is free, $0 a month. You're saving $300 a month right there. And when you go to your doctor, go to the exact same doctor and pay cash. Most doctors, I want to say all, but almost all, will take cash. Money talks with doctors. They will be glad to take your money. You won't pay $20. You might pay $80 or $100, whatever you can negotiate, and go see your doctor for 3 visits a year for $300 instead of $300 a month.
You got me there, Dan. You got me. You're telling me this is like I'm in the Middle East Bazaar. I can negotiate with a doctor for my medical.
Correct. Every medical feature now, procedure, test, etc., there's the cash price and the insurance price. Our insurance system has problems. It doesn't always work in your favor. Just like you have to know about your credit cards, you have to know about your insurance, and it's too much for most people to understand. That's why they call me. I help them figure it out and make it work.
So this is for our audience out there. You can negotiate with a doctor. So what do? Go up to the doctor, say, look, I need my appendix out. And, what are you going to charge me?
That's right. And they'll ask you, do you have insurance? And if it's one price for insurance, and if you don't have insurance, it's another price. But everybody now has insurance.
That's funny.
Look at our drug prices. What's the real price? Companies are charging ridiculous amounts. We're all getting angry and tired and fed up about it.
We're angry. We are angry. This is a major problem. In fact, it may break our budget, the way things are done. Again,
there's a right way and a wrong way, and most people don't know how to work the system. That's what we help people
So
figure
if you
out.
work the system, I'm going to ask you a broad question here, Dan. If you no one can figure out how to fix the system. So if you could fix the system, would you go back to cash?
It's like,
I mean, this is a strange question.
Yes.
I know when I was growing up, I don't know how many old general audiences, we paid our doctor cash.
That's right. There were no credit cards. There was no insurance.
And there was no insurance. And he came to the house.
Right.
And we paid him cash. And, my understanding about insurance is it was Blue Shield or Blue Cross, whoever it was formed by doctors. The doctors put up all the money to make these insurance companies work. They figured, hey, we can have a monthly amount of income coming into us. And that's where it started, with doctors doing that. And at first it was very reasonable. That's my understanding.
Correct.
It was very reasonable. And like all things, got way out of control. It's especially out of control when you see aspirins for $100 at a hospital, and then by the time the bill comes in, they're $3. It's still way more than you pay at CVS. The point is, it's so convoluted now. You have to have a Sherpa without sheep, but you need someone to guide you through this. And you have to, just like we talked about with your escrow account, just like we're going to talk about with credit cards, we're a very complex society now, and you need experts to help you at every step of the way. Dan, what do you charge to be a Sherpa?
Zero. That's the beauty of it.
The charge is zero.
Zero. We don't charge
can't
you
do better
anything.
than that.
That's right. Attorneys charge big fees, and accountants for your finances. With your insurance, the insurance companies actually pay us $1 or $2, so we get sometime compensated from it. But basically, we're here to guide you through the process and make your life simple and help you make the right decisions for whatever insurance. If you're under 65, if you're over 65 and have Medicare issues, it's now Medicare open enrollment just started, and most people have no idea.
No idea what's going on.
That's right.
No idea. Now,
So-
Dan, if I'll tell you a story about medical insurance when we were traveling with my wife, Robin. She had a bursted, cyst on her ovary. And we had to rush her to the hospital. We were in Cabo San Lucas in Mexico. And they wanted $10,000. Serious, no. $10,000. And she was in severe pain. And people thought I was a little crazy, but I'm there bargaining with the doctor. Like, that's crazy, $10,000. And my wife's like, I can't take it. But the point is, $10,000. Now, this is a minor operation. I don't know what they cost here. I finally got them to 6,000. And they did it, you know?
right.
They took the 6,000. If we didn't have that on a credit card, they weren't going to do it. They were going to send us to, you know, some state hospital in Mexico. Not a good idea, right?
Correct.
So what about when people travel, Dan? Does their insurance cover them?
Yes, most insurance covers them across the country, and most health insurance will cover you for emergencies worldwide. Their goal is to get you back home where they can treat you under their facilities.
Does that include Medicare people?
Yeah, absolutely, Medicare people as well.
They'll cover you if you're traveling in Colombia and a drug lord gets you?
I guess so.
I mean, I don't know. What countries do they cover? I was in Singapore, and by the way, health service was free there.
See, it depends on the country.
You
Many
know,
countries.
It was free, but will they? Is there? Do you know which countries can people? Dan, where can people reach you?
The simplest way is to call me by phone. People try and text, they email. It's so complex. We need a 10-minute or less phone call.
You don't like email.
I do, but it's just too complicated because you ask a question, then I have to say,
Right.
well, there's 3 variables, and which one is this, and how much is more important to you, this or that, etc.
Right.
In a 10-minute or less conversation, I can help a person figure out the best plan for them, the one that will work within their means, that will make their expenses the least amount of possible. People don't realize you can time things with your health insurance now.
Yeah, but with time, I have to time my health insurance.
Yeah, by when to have
If I
that.
have an appendix, I need it done then.
That's true, like Robin's thing and the appendix.
Yeah, you
but
can.
if you have a elective surgery coming up, should you do it in December or should you do it in
What
January?
do you mean elective? Like I need a knee replacement?
That's right, knee or something's,
I need a
you
lot
gotta-
of things replaced.
I understand, bionic man there. But the point is, I did this for myself a few years ago. I needed some surgery on my ankle. And if I waited until January, I signed up for a rich plan.
Rich plan.
They're not the bronze.
No deductible.
That's right. No deductible, just copay. I paid only $2,000 for the whole surgery. If I had been on the less expensive plan that I was on before, it would cost me $5,000. I had the surgery done, and then when I was still during open enrollment, and I changed my plan back to the low-cost plan for the rest of the year, saving an extra $200 a month. So you can make the system work for you with those type of things. These are the kinds of ideas we tell people. How to get prescriptions for less. Don't go to the drug plan and show your health plan and show them your drug plan.
What do you do?
You call goodrx.com, go online, check their website, and you will find the exact same prescription for a fraction of the cost.
Now, if someone has like Humana, I'm thinking me.
Yes, I do too.
For
I
drugs,
just signed up for them.
drugs.
Absolutely.
I think I pay 30 something a month.
Okay.
Is that a good thing?
It could be very good if you have to check it each year because it changes every year.
But if I go to GoodRx, I might get the same price and
You
not have
may.
to pay them $38.
Yes, but everything has got a but. You have to sign up for a drug plan. If you don't, then they will penalize you for every month you don't have one when you're over 65. And whenever you get one, you're going to be
you
paying
get a
more.
penalty now.
So you want to pay for a drug plan, but you also want to shop to find the lowest price for the drugs. And people don't believe this, but I have it on a sheet of paper that the prescription that I take, I could get a 6-month supply for $32 at Vaughn's,
Wow.
and that same thing would cost $380 at Rite Aid. I don't know why. Each company, each pharmacy has their own pricing. People will take a coupon and save 10 cents at Ralph's on a thing on sale, but
Right.
they won't shop for their drugs effectively.
So we have a lot of things here. We can't cover all this for people out there. We're going to just give Dan's number once more. You can also call the studio, or you can call, you can go on Financial Sanity Now website, and we'll get you in touch with Dan. That's financialsanitynow.com. But in terms of, we covered a little bit about drugs and drug costs. For those of you out there, you can save money by bargaining with your doctor. Don't think because they wear a white coat and they have a stethoscope, they're not bargainable. Get a little friendly with your doctor and tell them, hey, I don't have insurance. What can I pay you? Because the way I understand it from Dan is if you give them $80, that's all insurance is paying them anyway.
Absolutely.
So they'd rather take it from you and not sit there and wait for the insurance. And I think that's an innovative way to think about things. I don't think most people do that.
That's
You know,
really helpful.
Dan, we're running out of time. Would you come back another time?
Absolutely.
Because I got to 2 of my 10 questions.
Okay. Feel free to call me anytime with any questions you have. I will be glad to guide you. Some people just give up their hands and throw them. They say, I have no idea what to do.
Don't give up your hands.
Yes, don't do that. Don't throw them up in the air and say, I give up. Call me.
No,
We'll help
don't
you.
do that.
Okay.
So we're going to go into another segment now. We're going to try to cover it. I don't know how much we're going to cover because it's a big segment. And I'll look right here for those of you out there. Okay, sometimes I don't look straight at you, but I will now. So this segment is about credit cards. And I'm going to we're going to end with the healthy and unhealthy uses of credit cards. Let me make it simple for you. If you need something, you can use a credit card. You need it. Different between need and want. This is a very hard concept for most people, and you have to be an adult to understand this. So I may want to go on a vacation, but do I need a vacation? I might. It may be a very real need. There's a call. Let's take this call first. Hello, caller. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. Where are you calling? What's your
My
name?
name is Sally, and I'm from Sherman Oaks.
Hi, Sally. Thanks for calling in.
Hi.
What's on your mind today?
Well, I'm turning 65 in a few months,
You sound
and
younger.
I keep getting conflicting information about Medicare.
Oh.
I get it in the mail. I got lots of mailers. I get the phone people calling me on the phone. I get friends telling me what to do, and I'm completely confused. I don't know what to do. Can you help me?
Yeah, I think we can. We happen to have a specialist here today. Let me just say, you sound a lot younger. Okay.
Thank you.
a lot younger than 65. So I'm gonna refer this to our expert just for a few minutes. We can't spend a lot of time right now, and then of course you can call him later. But Dan, I would like to answer whenever we have a call in. I'd like to answer the question. I'll take little time from this segment.
Absolutely.
Do it next time.
In a nutshell, each case is different. It needs a little phone call to discuss your needs, what prescriptions you're taking, what doctors you have, and help you figure out the best plan.
Well, isn't Medicare?
Yes, there's Medicare, but then is it a supplement that you put on top of Medicare with a drug plan, or do you go on a Medicare Advantage,
Well,
HMO?
she wants to know, like the Part A, Part B,
That's
Part
right.
C, Part D. Well,
Everybody gets Part A and B. That's simple.
What are those?
That's the hospital, which is free, and Part B is the
Hospital totally free.
totally free for everybody.
No deductible.
No deductible whatsoever. Well, no, that's the cost is free, and the benefits, there is a deductible, but your supplement plan will cover the deductible.
Did you get that, caller? I didn't.
Yes, it's complicated.
Yeah.
Basically.
So you go to the hospital. I go to the emergency room. I'm admitted, and I get a bill because I did get a bill.
Yes.
And I'm not supposed to get a bill.
If you have Medicare, Medicare will pay everything but the deductible. If you
Well,
have a
what's the
supplement,
deductible?
it
Well,
changes every year.
Oh.
Okay, it goes up every
tricky.
year. Yes,
Tricky,
it is.
yeah,
That's why you need someone. But basically, in a nutshell, so we can move on, is we help people figure out by what's most important to them, what is the best plan they want to be on, what price level they have. Do they want to pay a little premium and then not pay anything for services, or do they want to pay no premium but may have co-pays and deductibles for services? So it's a simple conversation,
It
and
is.
most people, when they do it themselves, unfortunately, they pick the wrong way to go.
They do. Now, isn't there an open enrollment? Is
It's
this
going
something-
on right
And
now.
when does it
Everybody
end?
should know.
When
It's
does it
from-
end? Tell the caller.
It just
when it
started
ends.
October 15th, and it ends December 7th every year.
Okay,
People
Pearl
can
Harbor
say-
Day.
That's easy to
Keep
remember.
that in your mind. Okay.
Okay.
Did that help
December
at all?
7th.
Yes.
Did that help?
Yes, but call me and
Yes.
I'll be glad to answer your particular questions and help you figure out the best plan for you.
Thank you for calling.
Okay.
Really appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Oh, we're just getting a thing. Okay, listen. I cannot even, Dan, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
This is ridiculous. I have not been able to get into the credit cards, so I'm a little upset about that, Dan. I'm not going to take it out on you. You can buy me dinner. So here, let me wrap it up by saying thank you to all our listeners out there, all the listeners who will watch this on the Apple iTunes, on YouTube, on the website for UBN. And if you're catching the recording later, we appreciate that as well. Thank you for spending the time with us. We know the World Series is on tonight, but we want you to get angry with us. It's important that you take your life into your own hands and talk to us about it. Next Wednesday, our topics will be mortgage modifications and short sales. You may not know what they are, but you will find out. Also, I will go into credit card debt. It's very important. As a special promotion for UBN listeners, Financial Sanity Now is offering a free credit report analysis. We'll look it over for you. We'll tell you if it can be improved. We'll try to get your credit score for you. Simply text us at 310-384-4352 and say FSN on UBN, free credit analysis, and we'll set up an appointment for you. There's no charge. Additionally, Financial Sanity offers services like credit repair, credit card consolidation, interest rate negotiations. We can bring your interest rate, like that lady girl who called. We can bring her interest rate down to 0. Credit card reductions in the amount, mortgage rate reductions, and medical debt negotiations. Because, Dan, as you know, a lot of times people don't take the right policy, wind up with tens of thousands of dollars owing. Well, we can negotiate those with the hospitals or the doctors. Those are some of our many services we offer to you. We want you to have some financial sanity in your life. So check out our website at financialsanitynow.com. Check us out on Yelp, Financial Sanity Now, or call us anytime at 818-906-2385. And remember, America, to keep calling in your stories. Remember, we're here to help you. Most of all, remember, we're not going to take it anymore.